So what is one of your favorite success stories, or like things you see blossom in students as they are over maybe weeks or months or years in Tantra course?
The students go this kind of following stages. In the beginning, they like something. They like the voice, they like the jokes, they like the freedom of speech, they like that it's interesting, and that's somehow the first stage. I mean, those who stay, some people don't like it and they go. But the people that stay, they like something and they're not really sure what they like. After some weeks, and this is one of the advantages that it's a weekly course, after some weeks, they start to be inspired to do daily practice. And once they click to the daily practice, even if it's just half an hour or 1 hour a day, they start to get results. And I remember seeing them in the first few months coming to the class, and there's maybe like 30 or 40 of them. You can see from our little sofa there who is practicing. And the people that practice, you see their eyes are more radiant, their posture is more confident, their voice is more clear, and you can feel what are they doing, on what chakra they are working. Some, they open the heart chakra, and you see the softness, the peace in their eyes. There's a very particular confidence of people who grow in love. People that become more and more loving, they become also settled. They become quiet and confident because they know they have something to give. What do you see? What do you like? I mean, when you see our students grow, what touches you? What sprinkles for you?
Probably, I feel they become more sure of themselves. Just like as a general thing, I feel it's a shift to sort of find resources inside, relying less and less on the outer world, or understanding that also reactions of the outer world, they are just reflections of what is going on inside. And it is a process. I mean, I've seen this maybe spread out over years, and then there's always blind spots and zones, and okay, no, let's not look there yet. But in general, I feel there's this finding more and more resources inside. And then especially the ones that practice and that really take this as a path, which essentially, guys, as much as this is a course and we sweetly do something new every week, in the end of the day, it abides to a path. Because, and I mean, all over the world, within the Atman Federation, we have by now 12, 14 years of ongoing Tantra course, and it's new course materials every week. We are in the oldest class, and our teacher produces new materials for this again and again and again and again. And it really comes to this continuous growth somehow. And then the people that go through that and really take that seriously and go into that, they become this like fountain of resources somehow. This, I feel, is the most touching for me, maybe.
Yes. What I also see is healing, and that's very touching to see. It's very touching to see how people heal, how people who were, you see in the first classes, the contraction on the face or in the body, like they have been beaten. They carry some wounds from childhood, from a relationship. And then having this game of good practice, of being inspired every week, of a warm community, even online, is very nice. By now the older students are a community online and they support each other. And then just being in a place that's safe, that's loving, and having practice that really opens the energy channels, that really opens the chakras and creates this transformation and healing. You see after some time, there's less sorrow in those eyes. The face is now relaxed and bright. The position is open. You see a person is healed. He doesn't react with such anger or with such withdrawal anymore. It's a healed person. It's like you see a flower that's withering, and then, practicing Tantra Yoga, you see the same flower blossoming. And that's super touching. It's is magic, is really magical.
Another question that we get asked quite frequently is, do I need a partner if I want to practice Tantra and if I want to be part of the Tantra course? And in short, the answer is no. You do not need a partner. But that doesn't mean that it cannot be wonderful to practice with a partner. It might even be that the practices within the course that we offer prepare you to find a wonderful relationship and to find a wonderful partner, but you don't necessarily need it. As we said before, the erotic practices of Tantra, they are very wonderful and they can become an extremely essential and full practice within your life, but it is a fraction of the tantric path. So you can do a whole lot of stuff without a partner, and then who knows, maybe you will be so heart open and radiant that you will find yourself in a most wonderful relationship fairly soon. Well, one big old question that keeps coming all the time is Tantra all about sex? Now, that is an interesting one. Well, the first thing that I would want to say is, if anything, then Tantra is about eroticism and not about sex. This is one of the big differentiations that Tantra makes, that there is a way to approach lovemaking, to approach your sensuality, your creative energies that bubble nicely on your sexual levels. And to engage with them in a totally new way so that they can be utilized for your growth. That is not a force that keeps, maybe driving your decisions around or keeps maybe agitating you or confusing you, but it becomes a source of energy that nourishes your heart and that nourishes your relationships, and that can really be a pathway to discovering the divine. That being said, I mean, eroticism has a big place within Tantra. There's no denying of that. Nevertheless, I find it always quite, even a bit annoying how misrepresented that is, because it's a percentage of a vast path, a huge path with so many, ancient scripts and biographies of masters. And if you read the biography of one of the old masters like Padmasambhava, you don't read how he's all the time going around and being with the girls. He's also doing that, but he's also creating rainbows and universes and bringing eternal compassion and harmony and so forth. So I feel it's very unjust to just reduce it to that level.
So there are two answers to these questions, and they're both valid. You can say that no, erotism, or the erotic side of Tantra, is, if we take from the scriptures, all right, there is a chapter in Tantra Loka, and there is half a chapter in the Shiva Samhita. There's nothing mentioned basically in the Shiva Sutras, and almost nothing mentioned in the Spandakarika. So there are many tantric texts, huge bulk of tantric texts, that don't mention anything erotic at all. And many biographies, great tantric masters were abstinent, like the great Milarepa. Yeah, he was a tantric master of the right hand. So you can say that there is a lot of Tantra that doesn't touch any explicit erotic interaction at all. And it's just, you can go through the whole path apparently without it. But it's also true to say that Tantra is all about the erotic experience, because the essential metaphysics of Tantra, the essential view of the universe in Tantra, is a view of polarity. The observer, Shiva, the masculine, and the observed, the beautiful feminine, whatever it is that we see, are constantly making love in Tantra. The universe is a game of consciousness, the observer, the masculine, and energy, the observed, everything. When you think, should I buy the green biscuit or blue biscuit? Should I buy the green package of biscuits or blue? You are contemplating, there is the dilemma, which is the feminine, and there is the one contemplating, which is the masculine, both for men and women. And the entire game of creation, and if you consider it everything you ever experienced, is a game between the experiencer, you or I in my case, and what is experienced. And this experience in Tantra is erotic. The perceiver is penetrating the perceived with consciousness. And if you catch, in many of the tantric meditations, like in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, they are about catching that. If you are aware, it's called in some spiritual schools dividing attention. If you are aware of the perceiver and the perceived, you will see that it's ecstatic. You are standing and gazing at a blank wall, like in the Zen monasteries, and that is ecstatic because you are the observer, masculine, penetrating that wall, which is feminine because it's perceived. And that experience is erotic. So in Tantra, the whole game is this game of polarity, but it's a background to all the tantric techniques, to all the tantric understanding. The explicit, actual love-making techniques, sacred points in the body for massage, for implementing mantras and so forth, that indeed is a small part. The view of polarity, the view of the cosmic erotic universe, that encompasses, that's like an umbrella for the entire tantric system.
Yeah, and you could maybe even say that there's the singular individual, no matter gender, no matter what, having a connective experience with the entirety of the universe, because that is what Tantra is about, to expand your consciousness into everything, to be with everything, to be unified with everything. That is a highly sensual experience. It is a highly erotic process for this to happen. And for that, you can be a virgin. You don't need to...
You can.
To do anything else, yeah. Within the course, though, we will talk very clearly, both for people that wish to explore their eroticism as a spiritual tool and give very clear indications of how that is done. There are concrete principles that, let's say, is advised to follow in order to gain a shift of perspective towards the eroticism, basically. So we will go into detail with that and give techniques around that. But also we will address for people who don't wish to engage erotically and what they can do with their wonderful creative potential. So yeah, there's space for anyone, really. And but if you come because you think it's all about sex, you will be very disappointed, because we will be talking about so many other things. We'll be talking about how the universe is built. We'll be talking about the subtle structure of your being. We'll be talking about the chakras and so forth, a whole lot of stuff that we will address that has absolutely zero to do with the subject. Nevertheless, quite early on, you get a good set of 1.5 months of a deep dive into the erotic level and understanding it from the inside out, really. And then you can basically make your choice how you want to approach this and how do you want to implement eroticism in your spiritual practice, really.
Many people come to find some secret knowledge. You touch these 2 points and that's it. You're the best lover in the world. You learn the move and that's it. You are the best lover that ever existed. They come for that, and then somehow many people
stay for the rest.
They stay for the rest. Because it's interesting and it's pleasant to hear and it's funny and it's like you feel, actually, yeah, I also want to be more confident. I also want to be more focused. I want to be more efficient. I want to connect deeper. I want a general better intimacy. So yeah, if you only want that, come and try. Maybe it will be good.
So maybe in the end we can share how you guys can sign up if you want to. So we currently offer online courses for you, and you can find our events on the onlineyogaacademy.com.
That is right.
Or
you can find on our Tantra Yoga Chiang Mai or Mahasiddha Yoga Thailand. You can find it there as well, the information.
Mm-hmm. And if you eventually come around to a live event here in Thailand with us in our beautiful retreat center, we'll be delighted to have you over for a retreat or two. You can find us on Facebook as Tantra Yoga Chiang Mai on Facebook. So yeah, that's how you can reach us, and we hope we see you soon.